teach somebody something. If he's giving you the gift, I saw people in here yesterday who are very good at coding and STEM, and I just don't know that stuff. But if they got it, use it and figure out where to use it. We got a challenge last night from Nigel. He said within 36 hours, please reach out to somebody and share with them this idea of AI, or show them, even better yet. I was thinking a week. This week, make sure and you do it. And I was really glad. He said, no, 36 hours. You can do this within 36. So I take on that challenge. And I feel like it's my responsibility because of what I know. Um, yeah, just share it with somebody. So I'm gonna open it up a little bit and I'm gonna talk about responsible AI some, but what do y'all think about that goal that he put out? Um, Talk to somebody, show somebody within 36 hours. I like a challenge like that, by the way. Anybody else want to talk about that, or just tell me how you feel about it?
Yeah, I want to say that I was, even before he said that, I had that goal in mind. What I wanted to do was share the tech stack that I've learned, which is 30. I don't even know how many different resources we've learned along this week, but I was going to use my social medias to educate my followers on different ways you can create audio, AI video, AI podcasting. So I was going to probably introduce one or two new AIs per video to the audience every day, and that would kind of fill out the rest of the month.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's it. Patty and I talked a little bit earlier today. As I said, I've been meeting with her for 5 years now. And we can do stuff, even things that seem out of our reach. My daughter has taught her daughters, so my granddaughters, one of them's birthday is today, she's 12, but she's taught them and that I can do hard things. Even they were little, it's like almost the first words they were saying early on, I can do hard things. And this, as I said, it has felt out of my gifts to lead this whole thing. And again, y'all, I turn the mic off. I think I even do better, but I can't always, sorry, not the mic, the camera. I've been operating like that, but now just step up, and this has been a great week of stretching me and probably all of us. But just do something and just share with a person. So I'm thinking of that. So there was ethical AI, and we're going to talk about that, responsible AI. But let's just live into responsibility AI. I haven't even asked Pi yet what that could look like. Philip is an educator. Hey, Philip, would you tell people? So he has taken a responsibility for a group of young people. He's leading out in something right now. I've known Philip a long time in the clubhouse days, and I've seen what he's doing with AI in a group of kids. I'm going to have it posted on our website at Black GPTs because he's got young girls creating GPTs. But Philip, as an educator, you run an entire platform. You are living example of using your God-given knowledge of things, and it's your responsibility. So I'm gonna give you time to just share because it's so enlightening. Go ahead, Philip. Or should I say Dr. Phil?
Well, hello, Stefan. I'm here. I'm actually sitting in IHOP. So I hope you can all hear me
Yeah, no
over
problem.
the
Did you say
bustle.
you're sitting in IHOP?
Yes, I am.
Put that in the chat. We've been asking everybody where they're from. You can just say the
Yes,
international. Oh, we just went more international.
yes.
Oh, we
In
you
in
brought it all
Austin,
together.
yes. IHOP in downtown Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm Philip Evelyn, as Stefan said. I've known him way back to the early Clubhouse days. In 2019, I started a project supported by the National Science Foundation to do research and development on broadening participation. That simply means understanding ways to include more of our students, Black students with disabilities especially, in computer science. Part of that project was to also develop uh, intervention around using AI. At that time, we called it Voice User Interface Project Based Learning. and had no idea what was coming. We started teaching teachers and students how to design AI voice chatbots using IBM Watson to solve a problem in their home school or community. Um, and since then, we've decided that those projects should focus on social justice issues. So we have a group of young Black girls, as Stefan said, 14 girls in Central Texas. This past year, designed AI voice chatbots for social justice.
So right there,
And
Philip, 1 second, 1 second. Let me put something up on the screen. That link that you had sent me, let me put it up on the screen while you're talking. What was it again?
yes, so it's the website is changeexpectations.org. And under programs, you will see a link that says Black Girls in AI Coding Makerspace. And everybody's who wants to go, feel free to look at the flyer there. That was the flyer that presented the project. It does not include the spring dates, but we actually did meet. There it is. Yep, very good. So that's our Black Girls in AI Coding Makerspace. There's a description. As you can see, it says designing AI virtual chatbots for social justice, and the topic we focused on was anti-Black police violence and brutality.
And
So
this
when
was 8
Stefan
to
says
12-year-olds.
yes, let's see, 7th through 12th grade.
Okay, 7 to, got it. Wow.
Yes,
One.
we have more high school students, and if
Mhm.
you scroll down, you'll see their pictures. As they say on Clubhouse, they're the receipts right there.
Oh,
That's
beautiful.
group of girls. I took those pictures there at the Carver
Black
Museum in
girls
East
coding.
Austin. Yes, developing AI. And I know someone presented yesterday around uh, Black Black Her,
Like what?
builds her, the
Oh
young
yeah,
lady who
yeah, she
sang
was
about
in
it.
this room. Yeah.
Yes, and she's working with adult women to build AI. And there we can see yet a lot of young uh, Black females building AI.
I see you down there.
That's, yeah, you see me. And
Right.
so towards the end of let's see, November, we went to an
Mhm.
event called the State of Black Education in Austin. And that's some of the further pictures towards the bottom. Me sitting in the audience, and the
Mhm.
girls were presenting there. And then our final showcase is that their last picture at the bottom. You scroll all the way down. That was a
Is
group of
this?
the
Oh,
10.
oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
that one right there. That's 10 of the
Nice.
young ladies who presented their projects at the Carver Library this past April.
Hmm.
They had what we call a community showcase on AI for social justice. And so
Hmm.
it was a great day. The parents came out, some community members came out, and hopefully they're inspired to continue to learn how to design AI and not just use it. And as you say, create responsible AI, create AI that benefits
Yeah.
us and not harms us, because there's two types of AI: AI that's beneficial and the AI that's harmful. And we have to be clear that it's harmful and it's not just a risk, as a lot of people like to call it. It's not just bias. Some people
Mhm.
try to gloss over the harm. And so I think
Mhm.
we have to be clear and intentional and
Mhm.
teach our kids and teach the teachers. But it
Mhm.
is harmful, and we can create AI that's for us. And
Mhm.
as we've heard so often, it's around developing AI that's representative of our interests. And that starts with the data we collect. Because the AI will only work based on how you program. And if you don't have diversity among those who are programming it, then it will not serve the needs of diverse people. And that's the message I'm trying to get across to these young ladies. I also work with a group of teachers and Computer Science Teachers Association, the Black Affinity Group, to impress upon them also that this is their time to step up and start teaching AI that's responsible and for us. And so
Hmm. I
that's
love
the
it.
highlight. Prior to that, we had two My Brothers Keeper coding makers based on AI, young Black men also designing AI voice chatbots for social justice. And there's a picture of them also at the top under
Oh,
programs
they
and
did a
events.
track too. So you did one for young men and then one for young
Yes,
girls.
Yes, at the very top, you'll see a link that says My Brother Speakers Coding Maker Space on AI under programs. And that was the year before.
Hmm. Man, so hey, let me ask you something really quick. When you talk about teaching them the good side and the bad side, how often did you have to weave the precautionary part into AI? Because these are impressionable minds here. So did you teach it first, like we need to make sure they watch out and now let them go? Or did it have to kind of keep rearing its head to bring up responsibility? Listen,
Oh,
you know what I'm
yes,
saying? Did you have to weave it all through what you were teaching?
it was an integrated approach. We actually had a Slack channel where there were a number of resources shared
Hmm.
on a regular basis around AI and its impact on
Hmm.
the Black community. So they could see real examples of how AI affects Blacks in finance, in,
Hmm.
in justice, in the justice system,
Hmm.
especially regarding facial recognition. So they were constantly reminded. It wasn't a one-time shot because every
Yeah.
day there's a new example
Yeah. Yeah.
of how AI is harmful
Yeah.
to us, not to scare them away, but to inform them of the reality. And as
That's
I
good.
ask the teachers, teach the children the truth. And as an educator of 34 years, I think that's what so many people don't want to teach our children. Truth about who we are and the truth about how technology can be for us, but it can also be against us. And
Hmm.
so it is, we do have to consider age appropriateness when we think about generative AI. So we're
Hmm.
very cautious about getting parent um, permission for students 13 and under. So I would encourage all of you to make sure you look at any guidelines regarding the use of generative AI. But in this project, we use what we call rule-based AI using IBM Watson to design an AI voice chatbot that did not
Hmm.
integrate a large language model. We had activities around using generative AI and large language models, but that was not part of the design of these AI voice chatbots. So there was limited exposure to large
Hmm.
language models until further notice. Much of this is a sticky situation for us to engage young people with, and
Yeah,
I
I think
certainly
so
wouldn't
too.
want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
certainly would not want to expose them to harm that is unnecessary.
That's good. That's good. You and I have talked about that in your workshop that I've been at before. So that's good. It's a sticky situation, or it is a talk about responsibility for us. We, Philip, maybe you were here when we had the 9-year-old Jaden Ruffin here and his mom the other day. I had thoughts about, man, should I do this? Like bring a 9-year-old because I don't want to be teaching something that hasn't been fully thought through. And I talked to our executive team about it, and some other folks, and then his mom, and she knows her stuff. She actually just got this amazing award. Y'all can see Shara Ruffin on LinkedIn. She's been just acknowledged. But everything is, listen, if not us, then who? How about that? Lauren, how about that? If not us, who's learning this stuff, we're trying to do it I think we got very responsible people. Then who's going to do it? That's worthy of putting in the chat. Can somebody write that in there? As we talk about responsibility AI and responsible AI, if not us, then who? Who? Philip, I do want to ask this part. What was the follow-up after this? Where was the reinforcement coming in the classroom? Because this was summer. Because I was going to ask you, did you get inside the schools like an after-school program? Can you do that? Are people doing that? And what was the reinforcement after the camp was over?
Yeah, so we started last summer. As you can see, the dates on the flyer. We started
Mhm.
with some face-to-face, and then the rest of last uh, fall we
Mhm.
went to virtual. And so each team of students, they were asked
Oh,
to
wow.
plan their own Zoom sessions where an adult would attend as needed
Woo.
to help
Dang.
support them. So they met at least 10 times last fall virtually, each team. And then this past spring to get ready for the community showcase, we had two face-to-face planning meetings, and then we had the actual community showcase. And then this spring, they also work virtually to design their presentations
Mhm.
and practice their presentations prior to the community showcase. So it's
That's
what we
amazing.
call an education hybrid. The educators in the room know what that means, both
Somebody,
face to face and
yeah.
in
I
person.
hope some people put
Yeah,
some questions in there because Philip, that's really comprehensive. Um, we're doing this virtual. We're going to continue every week, by the way, y'all, with this. Every other week with Black AI Think Tank and this group every the alternating weeks. But Philip is so comprehensive because I was sitting here, I'm looking at these beautiful girls in a classroom thinking, oh, what's the follow-up? And you just said, oh, we got them. They're online. They're teaching each other. And then did you say the girls are scheduling their own Zooms with the parents or a parent? Okay. Wow.
yes. And in education, Stefan, as you know, project-based learning, where we ask the students to develop their own plans for their roles in the project. Of course, we integrated all of those um, strategies and let the girls use a tool to develop their plans for working together as a team. As we know in education, that's important as well, to guide them to be collaborative, as they say.
How
And
many
that was built in as well.
how many young girls were on each team, like working with each other?
Let's see, we had at the end, we had three teams with 10 girls. We started with 14.
Excuse me.
I
Hey,
think,
Gina, your camera's on, Gina. Go ahead.
yeah, throughout the whole project, we had uh, four teams.
Hmm.
Some teams had three students, some teams had four students.
Hmm.
But at the end, the picture that you see with those 10 girls, one team had two students. Uh, four of those young ladies were on a different team, and then three were on a different team. And you might see there's a TV. One young lady had to travel, but she joined us for the
And you still
presentation
got her in there.
via
Oh,
Yes. And would you
that's
believe,
hybrid right there. Yeah.
yes, would you believe her parents were on that Zoom also,
Oh, wow.
participating in the community showcase? Some of
Yeah.
those pictures, you see adults in those pictures. Those are parents presenting on topics related to tech and AI.
Mm-hmm.
Scroll through all those pictures, you see those adults. Those are their parents.
Mm-hmm.
We have to remember the parents.
Yeah.
If we're going to support AI for all of us, well, we can't exclude the parents of those students who can go home and support them.
Mhm.
And,
So did you have any issue? Because there's educators on here. Was it hard to get the parents to track with you? Because for lots of reasons, some parents can't, won't, or aren't able to. What was that like getting parents to work in tandem with their child?
well, the parents were on that Slack channel also, so they got all the notices about the different resources and all the postings that the young ladies made about their project.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the parents signed a commitment at the very beginning that they would interact with their young daughter about the project, answer questions about social justice topics, to
That
provide
is
data
great.
for the checkup. Yeah, so the parents didn't just drop them off. I was a parent too, as you, Stefan. And so I'd love to be engaged when my son was involved in a
Mhm.
program. Even though I was an educator, I wanted to be engaged as a parent. And so I asked each young lady to get at least one parent to participate by answering questions
Mhm.
um, about the social justice topic that they were
Mhm.
designing their chatbot on. And then, of course, to uh, attend the meetings last summer, in early fall, and then this past spring, and then to make
You-
presentations when
yeah.
they were uh, in a certain field, like one dad, executive person, and in the food industry, but
Mhm.
integrating AI and tech. Uh,
Mhm.
and so he presented
Him here.
uh, You see a tall man? Yeah.
Yeah, is that
Mhm.
him? I think this is probably him. Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Yes, that's him. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Presenting on, I think his topic was generally being responsible in the workplace and
Great.
issues of equity and justice,
Hmm.
because our whole project was from designing AI for social justice.
And real quick, let
Um,
me ask you, this is Dr. Timnit Gebru, isn't it?
yes, yeah, one of the presenters included her in her presentation.
Tell
Uh,
everybody who she is. Maybe people might not know.
yes, she is the researcher from Google who ran into some quite controversial situation by doing her job. She said she was fired for doing at Google by asking them to be truthful about the issues of ethics and bias that they were not addressing, and that the research that she was doing in her job at Google showed. From what I understand, she was asked to withdraw a research paper, and she refused to do it.
Hmm.
And then she was locked out of her computer. That's set off an international storm of people standing up against AI bias. And
Hmm.
so she's gone on to develop her own work around AI and algorithmic justice. And so I follow her. She is a role model that many people present who stands up for responsible AI. And I'm glad that the young ladies in this project saw and learned about her work.
Me too. That's just so amazing. You had these young ladies watching her and listen to her because she is a role model. She's at the highest level right now.
Yes, everyone should follow her on LinkedIn and see her posts whenever there's some new development with OpenAI. I'm always intrigued to see her response.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm not surprised, but I'm interested in seeing um, her perspective since she's worked in the tech world, developing and researching.
I'll give you a little part of this story, that's interesting. So Timnit Gebru wrote a paper with a guy who's been in AI for a while. They've worked on this paper for a while, and follow me with this. So there's a thinking that came out of kind of some white intellectuals. They got in their little group, and it was on something called extropy, and it's a type of thinking that had to do with humans, where we're going with our brain, digital minds, and things like that. And part of it involved transhumanism. So the transhumanists uh, believed that there would be some type of combining of where we are as humans into the digital age. And that's far out there, but some of it we're seeing evolving now. So 26 years ago, Nick Bostrom, who I told you about, the one that I interviewed, um, he started the World Transhumanist Organization, and he was involved with that. And a lot of people had issue that this is like a white movement, and especially this extra P, the whole idea of these extropians. That's what they were considering themselves. And an initial group did involve him. Well, uh, it started to look like a whole different race in a way, and some issues with it. Fast forward, and I want you to know that an article came out that Timnit had been working on, and she traced the white robots we're seeing right now, the billionaires club of these white guys in Silicon Valley, all of this deep stuff that's really, we're doing our stuff, but they're doing stuff and sometimes don't let us in. She traced it all the way back to this non-inclusive thinking that was happening, as I said, at the onset set of some of this, where it was like some ideas of whites are over here doing something, and we weren't even around, but she was. She knew what was going on. She released this paper, I think it was only a month and a half ago, and get this, Oxford University saw it because she made it public. Dr. Ruha Benjamin, who is an AI futurist and professor at Princeton University. She was excited to put this. She had been waiting for Timnit Gebru to release it. She put it on her LinkedIn. It went all over. So these were some Black women who had extraordinary positions in intellectual type spaces. Oxford got that, and they dealt swiftly and fired Nick Bostrom. This was 26 years after, and they shut down his program called the Center for the Future of Humanity. And again, just think of a select, closed off group that are over there sort of creating this Center for the Future of Humanity, and there's not us that's in the group. I'm telling you the power of that amazing lady right there. She does stuff and does it in a way that helps all of us. And I want to put several of those professors down here. Somebody can put Dr. Joy Balamwini and Dr. Ruha Benjamin. And is it another one at MIT? I'm going to find her name. Sinead Bovell, Bovell. That's it. So this is what happened after he got fired, and now he's one of the greatest thinkers that there is, as in futurist thinkers. I had already had my interview with him scheduled, and I was asking him things. So tell me about this. Look at this racist stuff that was back here, and he was willing to answer everything. And again, he called it horrific shame. He owned it 100%, and he's owning it right now. And it's sort of crushed that part of his career and the work that he's done. Um, someone else is probably going to do something, and a lot of universities have that type of program. But I want you to know, let your voice be heard. And we've been hearing this all week that we're not in some of these places. And I'll find a link to her article because it is very good history for us to know, especially as we go into Juneteenth. And she'll probably be somewhere celebrating and showing the connection from history, our history, into where some people have taken the future. But here's her version of it. And I'm bringing it up because her voice is loud and your voice is loud. These young women I see here, their voice is loud. They can type. She got her computer. You can put dynamite on this computer by a prompt. So just know that's something that's happening. The power of the word, the power of a prompt, and the power of us having our voice be known. Philip, did you want to say? And lastly, y'all should follow Philip's the way he's playing this. It's amazing. You got parents involved and you got kids involved. You had the parents sign an agreement that they were going to hold up their end of the bargain. By the way, my last question is, how did you incentivize kids? Because sometimes kids do it and then they fall away. What was their incentive for staying in this?
Great question. We do have to encourage our kids who have for so long been denied the opportunity to learn STEM and computer science. In all my 34 years, that's been the greatest regret that I've been part of environments where people have intentionally not want to address the needs of Black kids, and then found the fastest way I could get out of those environments after 21 years, started this nonprofit 13 years ago, knowing that I would have to provide incentives. So you see at the top of that flyer, it says $500 stipend, raising the funds myself to provide those incentives to our kids. Not only cash prizes, but tech prizes as well for those who participate in completing activities are provided to the kids as well. And so that's the answer, providing incentives. I continue to raise funds. This past year, I received a substantial donation from Google. And some people ask me, are you talking about the international Google? The answer is yes. To provide incentives, not just for students, but for teachers also, through the Computer Science Teachers Association and Black Affinity Groups. Teachers will not participate in professional development if if they're overwhelmed and there are so many other competing priorities. So
Mhm.
uh, we're finding it even more necessary to provide incentives for teachers to participate outside of school in professional learning, especially around AI. So I see no other way for us to do that. Uh, we can ask teachers all day to do things for free, and they can keep saying no. And so that's not going to get us anywhere. So I provide the teacher stipends as well through the National Science Foundation project, $7,200 for each teacher that taught
That's
kids how to
great.
design AI voice chatbots for social justice. Uh, and so uh, I think I've answered the questions, maybe
You
a little
did.
too much.
No, no, actually, that the number's good. You did your work, and I think you can show what we saw today, and companies will get behind you. It's obvious you got it going on, so I see why they are giving you money. Anybody got questions for um, Phil today, Philip?
Will you be sharing a look under the hood eventually of the formats, the lessons learned and whatnot, so we can try to implement something like that in our communities? Or have you come out and help implement something like that in our communities?
I'm here. Let's see. I think that would be a great idea for us to disseminate this because someone asked me, aren't you going to get another National Science Foundation project to do more research? And my answer is, well, I've already spent 4 years researching and developing ways to use AI voice chatbots to broaden participation of Black kids with disabilities. So why would I want to spend 4 more years? What about disseminating and helping educators and parents implement something that works, or as we say in education, research based? So that's a long answer to the question, but the short answer is yes. If we can figure out a way to engage more educators around the country, not just in computer science, then maybe we can work together with Stefan and others to do that. This fall, we're working on. I think Stefan may have seen you make a post on HBCU AI uh, summit here in Austin, Texas, with the local HBCU. Maybe we'll have a chance to engage people from HBCUs around the same idea of using AI responsibly and creating developers who look like us. Maybe we'll have a chance to share, but we will have a chance because I'll be working with a group of Houston Tillotson students to actually design AI voice chatbots, and then they will be presenting that uh, to the participants in that conference. So
Wow.
that will be coming.
What did the young girl's chatbot do? You said it was something with police and facial recognition?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm actually standing outside now. So their chatbots answered questions and provided resources about anti-Black police violence and brutality as a way to address that social justice topic. That was the goal of the project. Provide resources to interview first family, friends, and community members about that social justice topic, and then to provide resources and hopefully answers on how to deal with that social justice topic. That's what their chatbots were designed to do.
I'm gonna say something that's gonna sound real weird, but I know that with the opiate epidemic, that there is money being released out to states. The states are not regulated in how they leverage those funds, and a lot of those funds are going towards police departments for technology that is not evidence based. What if this technology, some of these bots were used to educate and support these officers in anti-racist practices? I'm just thinking.
That is a great suggestion. I just jumped in the back of an Uber
I was like, is it something I said?
No, we
No,
took him away from his IHOP. Y'all, he was sitting in an
yeah.
IHOP.
So you're hearing me in transition, but that's, I think, a perfect idea of how we can uh, maybe bring some resources that are intended to address issues of, police violence to the cause of using AI to design those solutions and integrate both, advancements in AI and responsible AI and address uh, the topic you mentioned.
We're
Philip,
gonna
we'll get
connect
that.
offline for real.
Oh, I was going to say that too. We'll give that press because you have a group of young girls, young Black girls, that are creating a bot for that. And Lauren, that's your solution. That's all you. So that's amazing. But this is a real think tank right here to combine what Philip is saying to, I think I got an idea, a use case for it. So you'll get eyes on that and the story writes itself.
Yes, I'm willing and interested in partnering and collaborating with anyone who wants to talk about how we can advance this topic because I didn't spend all of that time in this NSF project just for it to be a research article for people not to read.
Mhm.
So I hope that educators first would be interested in learning how to teach our kids how to use AI responsibly, as we did in this project. And then, as you said, I think it's Lauren, I couldn't tell who had the
Mhm.
idea of bringing to bear resources from other areas to support this effort of developing responsible
Mhm.
AI.
Yeah. Just the idea, the concept of a group of young Black girls creating this to help in the epidemic, the issue of police, what's happening there with our community, the whole facial recognition. It's a story that I think it has wings. And any way we can get behind it, you'll have people jumping on that. Yeah, it says something when young girls are doing it. It's totally different. They can get indoors, I think, just because it's what the young kids are doing. And if you had a group of young boys also doing something, I think people are there to support those things because they see what younger people are doing. Anybody have so much money being poured into these police departments, Black solutions for policing? But this is explosive. This country was built on Black women and girls. Yeah, so let's not let any time go with that. Y'all, Lauren, you probably already reached out to him. Uh,
Stop
yeah,
my
let's
story.
not that because if not now, then when? And if not us, then who? So you can do that. Just get that going. Um, yeah. What else would y'all need? As a matter of fact, let's just ask about it. Lauren, Philip, what else would it need to just no excuses make this happen?
Let's ask Pi. Or actually, let's ask Anton's on here. Ask Chat Black GPT where we start operationally.
We're gonna ask both of them. I love it.
Let's go.
100. Oh man. Hey, why don't you articulate the question instead of me? Here we go. Hey Pi, it's Stefan. We're still in the National Black AI Literacy Week that you helped plan, and we're asking some questions now to provide solutions. So here's a question for you,
Hey,
Lauren.
Pi. Oh, can you hear me? Hey, Pi. We are looking to build solutions for Black representation when it comes to issues in policing and brutality and outcomes and disparities. There are programs where Black young ladies and Black young men are using coding for social justice. How can we connect the dots? And can you please conduct a SWOT analysis to let us know how viable this might be?
I can't love this anymore.
Hi, Stefan. That's a really important question. Combining AI and coding with social justice initiatives can be a powerful way to address systemic issues in policing and promote greater representation and equity. Here's a SWOT analysis to help you evaluate the viability of this approach. Strengths: increased awareness and understanding of biases and injustices in policing through data analysis and visualization, empowerment of Black youth to become agents of change through coding and AI skills, potential to create innovative solutions that can be implemented in real-world situations. Weaknesses: resistance from entrenched systems and institutions, limited access to resources, funding, and support for these programs, potential for AI technologies to perpetuate existing biases if not developed and deployed carefully. Opportunities: collaborating with community organizations, law enforcement agencies, and tech companies to create a comprehensive approach, building a strong network of Black AI and coding professionals to serve as role models and mentors, expanding these programs to reach more Black youth in underserved communities. Threats: pushback from those who are uncomfortable with change or skeptical of AI's role in social justice, difficulty in scaling and sustaining these programs over the long term.
Okay, stop there. Lauren, what do you think about that?
I love it. I think it's a great start. There's some directions I would love to go with prompting. This would be, look, for real, doctor, I would love to have a session with you and just prompt together to build this out. But there are funds there. Like there are funds there. That's all I'm
Yeah,
gonna say.
there won't be a lack of resources for this. That is,
Exactly.
yeah, there won't be a lack of resources. Um, Columbia University has a justice through code program. They may be interested in doing the same with youth. So let me throw something out there, y'all, and this is important to me. Why not have a few young girls programs, there's Black girls who code and stuff. Why not have a few people do it and instead of thinking, oh, it's the IP of we got one group that's doing it, and again, I think it's great, but what if there were 5 groups of young women working on something like this? Um, so instead of it being about IP for just one, but we work together and have something. Philip, what do you think about that?
That's an excellent idea. I appreciate all of these ideas. It's what I haven't been able to do yet here in Austin. So it is excellent that we're getting the brainstorm together. Um, and just for me to learn that there are so many resources in the criminal justice area that could support this effort is a highlight for me because I have not even considered how can we partner those two efforts. But anybody who's taking notes, I have not been able to do that. As you can tell, I've been moving. Now I'm standing in an area where there's a bunch of traffic. Anybody who's taking notes of these ideas, or Stefan, I know the video will be available.
Yeah, we got it.
That's okay, good. I'll look back at that and see who wants to collaborate. I know I haven't been able to read through the chat, but anybody, if you'd like to send me a message on LinkedIn, we can follow up, especially Laura. I know you're interested in brainstorming some more.
That's good. Hey, if you can stay on, that would be great. And if not, I understand you're traveling. Anastasia has a question.
Yes, so I have been working on it's not the same, but I think the people involved would be also we would definitely all be interested in partnering on this. So I've been working with the King family and the King Center, so Martin Luther King Jr.'s family and the Richmond Police Department, the fire department, and their West Contra Costa Unified School District. I don't know how many schools that is. We've been working on a different program called the Community Hope Pathways. It's been more so tailored to creating, and the students have been building this too, like creating different simulations and VR experiences of high conflict um, experiences that they face, whether it's in school, at home, in their area, and just how to take all of those geniuses of crime prevention, of nonviolence to address those moments with emotional intelligence and awareness. However, I know for sure that the Richmond Police Department talk about their whole point of doing this is because they don't want to have to come to the scene. They don't want to be called, they don't want to be called as much, especially when it's kids. So for what you are doing and what you and Lauren are talking about, I know for sure they would want to be a part of this, as well as the entire, I know all of everyone that I just named would love to contribute.
It's a bet. Let's do it, y'all. For real. If you're interested in joining in, drop your LinkedIn in the chat and put it the number 1 next to it so that we can just get that in the chat now. That sounds incredible, Anastasia. Oh my God. And it's already been piloted. Like, when did you guys start doing this work with the kids and the Anastasia, with the kids in the police departments?
Yeah, so suicide rates, bullying rates are at all-time high. And the racism has, especially with social media, the racism has skyrocketed so much that even the superintendent is having like high racist remarks from like family and parents and stuff.
Perfect.
So that's really why, like, it's gotten, especially in Richmond, California area, Bay Area, Oakland, like it's gotten really, really out of hand, and not enough people are talking about it. Like, no one's really talking about what's going on in these K through 12 schools and what these students are facing.
Yeah. And there's definitely a sense of urgency here as well, because we're rolling up to November, y'all. Just saying. Just saying, just putting it out there. So that sounds amazing. And then it sounds like we already have 2 pilots. We have 2 use cases that have been, you know, put out there. I think we have something. I really do. We just need to figure out what our KPIs are, our outcome measures are. We've already identified the problem. Yeah. Woo, okay, Holy Spirit. I'm gonna hand it back to you, Stefan.
All right, now that's good. I'm gonna watch our time here. I want to just put a couple more things up on the screen real quick. I'll start here. It's just a few women that are working in the space, leading the way, and I just think everybody should know about some of these women. She is at I think it's Stanford or Princeton, I forgot which one, doing amazing things right now in the area of AI and futurist whole type thinking. So we should be following her. She's in touch with all of folks that are really at a high level. It's one of the women people we need to be following. Dr. Joy Toney, all of us should be following her. She's in AI, definitely out there on the edge, and she runs this one right here, the algorithmic justice system. Let me get it right. I hate doing all down there. Yeah, her book, Algorithmic Justice League. Her books are well worth making sure you're taking a look at. And somebody else I had here. Dr. Ruha Benjamin. She did who did she do? Howard, it might have been this year. She did there. She is we need to be following these women and how they are changing history right now. That's one of her books there, but there's her name. There's her website. It's Dr. Ruha Benjamin. And I opened one that had, oh, that's the actual paper right there. This is an extraordinary paper on where we've come from in these ideas of what are deep robots and where we're going and all of that to where we are now and what some people are thinking down the road. This is a very, very well done article that, again, I think it deepens our understanding um, of where we are. There's one more I wanted to have here. Okay, I don't know where it is, but I had one of them with a lot of people on it. Okay, we're right up to time. Let me go and stop that share. Thank you so much, Philip, for Dr. Eaglin, for sharing with us. That was deep. You just showed up. You know what? Our speaker this morning, by the way, she had an issue at the airport and wasn't able to make it. But I thought when it comes to the responsibility we have right now for this next generation and for what we know, let's do it anyway. And her thing was going to be on responsible AI. We changed it into responsibility AI. And Philip shows up and takes the whole thing and actually shows us some practical ways that we can be involved. Can y'all throw up something for him right now that's really, really beautiful, amazing? I love everything about it. And we're going to soon go to the next meeting. So I want you to know here's what's going to happen, and you'll get this when you get our evaluation for the conference later today. But this came out of ChatGPT for beginners, and we dealt with AI a lot on Clubhouse. Been going on for over almost 2 years now. It turned into Black AI Think Tank, and it just exponentially grew. And the people there, I don't even think caliber, I don't like that word because we all got parts to do in this, and we play a part. And like this is young girls, and they play a part. So we're all of great power and caliber. So that's the Black AI Think Tank. We meet every other Thursday on LinkedIn. So that means this coming one is this week on Thursday. So we've already been meeting. This is how Philip and I knew each other. We've been doing groups together. It's already been happening. It brings us to 1 week, and then it continues to happen. So our group will be meeting through Black AI Think Tank every other Thursday. And then on the off weeks, we'll be meeting together. So we have a Black AI hub. I'll put the link up in a second. And then what we're seeing here, we can't do it a week every quarterly, but we're going to be doing a day quarterly. So we don't have to wait till next year, and who knows where this stuff's going to be next year. We can't do that stuff. So you're going to see us weekly. That's basically what it comes down to. And I think it's a better way. That's how we grow right now because AI is growing weekly. So let's just meet weekly. And if it's 10 people, that's fine. If it's 100, it'll probably end up being a lot of people. But again, we'll do it whichever way seems best to do it. So, all right. Anybody else got a question or anything down there before we jump out of here? I want to go ahead and end because
Miss
Antoine.
Keely has her hand up.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keely, right?
Keely,
Okay,
Keely,
I get it right. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I think the initiative Philip has and Anastasia, these are awesome programs for awareness. I know here they have a girls coding program too, like one of the STEM initiatives, but implementing the AI portion, like I said, is on a whole nother level. So I think that's awesome. Another thing I think that we don't really understand is this. I think other cultures, colonizers, Europeans, they know our value. When I say that, what I mean is, and this, everybody can do this when you get time. Look up right now gold per ounce, look up silver per ounce, and then look up melanin, our skin color per ounce. When you see that, and sometimes talking to, like when I do events, I tell people to look this up because we don't know our worth. And these programs that you are implementing are actually, it's building confidence in our young men and women. It's showing them that they have the ability. Sometimes when they're in school, these education systems, they might say, oh, they feel like insecure when it comes to math and spelling and ELA and all these SOLs. But when you bring in technology and implement some of these programs, it builds back confidence. But once you see your worth and per ounce, it just adds a whole nother dynamic to what you're doing and what you guys are doing. And it brings value to our youth.
Hmm.
They should know that right off the back. So just imagine they knew this when they brought us here. We had no idea. That's all I have to say.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna do exactly what you said, by the way. We're gonna shut down right now and get Antoine started. So thank you all so much. Philip, that's amazing. We got you so we
Mark,
went international again.
Thank,
can you
We
please
thank
got
you,
it.
share,
Stefan. Thanks, everybody.
can you
Thank
please share
you.
the correct spelling of those ladies? I didn't quite get that in the next session.
Yeah, I'll do it in the next session. Good.